Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal, and we have the moon going through Leo from December 7th at night here in Argentina until tomorrow, December 10th. That in early morning it is going to move to Virgo. Actually, depends on on where you are. So this could be a phase where we have high creativity or this will of sharing with others our creations. Beyond that, the moon has been creating trines with every planet in Sagittarius, Venus, the Sun, and at last Mars. So this could be a very good impulse to make decisions with purpose, with sense, or decisions that we know that respond to this healthy self-esteem. Now, because Mars is still in tension with Saturn, this was perfected yesterday, and in plenty tension, I don't know if this is the expression, with Neptune stationary in Pisces. Moon in Leo could also represent being too much centered in ourselves, but in imbalanced ways. You know, whether because other people are not giving what we want, or they are not recognizing us, or because of the things we don't have, or in the other version of seeking attention or recognition in an unconscious way, like through provoking, through conflict, or seeking to be right, even if we are not investing our energy in a productive way. So we have the energy of Neptune very, very active right now, because tomorrow is the awakening. It becomes direct in the degree 29. So this is moving everything, the collective emotions. I was anticipating the last days that we were going to feel this a lot, because at the moment that a transpersonal planet becomes direct, that always impacts us in the individual level, but also awakens in the degree 29, which is a karmic degree of mastery, of integration, of final integration, and because it is closing a cycle in the zodiacal wheel. So both in the astrological and planetary level, this is a moment of collective transition, very, very big. So, well, we are going to review certain concepts of Neptune, and they are all expressed in Pisces, because Neptune and Pisces is the same. It's domicile. So when it moves to Aries on January 26th of 2026 to make its definite transit, it is going to have a very different channeling. We have been experimenting this in the first half of 2025. You have a video talking about this in the list on the description below. So Neptune and Pisces symbolize everything that responds to this sensitive perception. It is the spirituality experimented from inwards, and something that we cannot transfer. The difference with Sagittarius, that is also related with spirituality, but in a way much more linked with concepts, with answers that are approaching us to a truth, learnings. This is not something negative, because it is a way of giving a structure to something so we can understand or we can teach that. But it could turn into an imbalance if we are closing ourselves in a concept of reality and we turn that into an absolutism. My truth is everyone's truth. So in Pisces, everything, all of this is dissolved in the infinity of cosmos, and we access to a knowledge that we perceive inwards. Pisces is also the sign of the symbolic language. Therefore, a song, an instrumental piece, could represent something different depending on the person that is listening to that. It could invoke sensations, emotions, or different associations. This also happens in a certain way with the spiritual path. I mean, we can explain a concept, but the way that others are going to assimilate or feel it can be very different. It could be that other people are not catching that, or it could be that they are catching much more than what we are doing. So the important thing is that there is no superior or inferior in Pisces. It is this fractality, as it is. I don't know the phrase right now. I forgot in English. As above, so below. As it is inwards is outside. I think it is not that way, but well, I think you will understand. In Pisces, all of these are simple processes of reconnection with with the purest essence of the soul. So there are souls navigating in the infinite sea of creation, allowing the spirit experimenting through them. It is also the sensation that we could have when we see, I don't know, an animal having this loving behavior with others and with other animals of its kind, or when we are very sensitive for the story of someone else, or when we cry of joy or pain because of the joy or pain of other person. That actually is telling us that even though we could be all different and we have different comprehensions of reality, there is an essence of in the existent that remains us to unity. So that's why we need to understand that our emotions do have an influence in the collective emotions, and that the collective emotions could impact us. Therefore, it is important to approach the path of managing them, regulate them, if we didn't incarnate with these tools. This has been a society very, very emotionally immature because emotions have been suppressed for a long time. This is regarding the rejection of the feminine polarity, the energy, the feminine energy. So other generations started to manifest these emotions in extremes, and curiously, the ones that didn't give this healthy space that emotions deserve are many times what the people that judge the ones that are incarnating them in a polarized way. So I think that sensitivity is a great gift because there is a latent intuition very open. I think this is something that isn't in everyone. It is just that many people are creating barriers to connect with that because, being in the sensation of feeling could generate a lot of fear, could generate a lot of instability for the mind. It is surrendering to the sea with the sunny days, but also with the waves, and I don't know the word right now. Well, I am very Neptunian. I'm forgetting everything. Or, perhaps it is about perceiving, or the storms, that is the word, or perceiving things that other people don't think that they are rational because they have limited logics. And that's why many times it is difficult to learn to trust in our inner voice, because our society has been very disconnected from that. But also, as I was saying, in this other extreme, there are people that could be, throwing in their emotional states without doing anything to move out from them. They are waiting to be rescued. And I think that, deepening in that is a necessary phase, but going in those waters with the intention of emerging, with the intention of facing whatever thing there is down there in the waters of the unconscious, and to allow ourselves that experience so we can know ourselves, so we can know more about our human nature, its conditionings, and the divine that is hidden behind the forms. Our physical body is a form that light takes. And literally, this is science. When the sorry, I'm going to look up for this word because I cannot explain it. I don't remember anything in English right now. Okay, when the egg allows the sperm to be to enter, at the moment of the conception, there is this shine, this ray of light. So, well, I think it is very important to understand these concepts because there are other ways, that there are other experiences that we could go through that go beyond the forms and the barriers of the matter. Neptune also responds to possibilities, potentials that are emerging through our imagination. Onirical plane is also something very linked with Neptune. And those potentials, when they are being born from emotional lack and painful experiences that created conditionings, they begin to distort. And we could imagine scenes where pain and imbalances don't exist, where we are rescued by other people or circumstances, because that is the protection of the uterus of the mother, the womb of the mother. I am inventing words a lot. And there is a place where nothing that we consider negative can happen. And this is a childish idealization. This is wanting to experiment only one aspect of our emotions, like seeing challenges or pain as something always negative, when that could be a teaching, that could be a passage. I mean, we could reach the end of something, not necessarily in a negative way, and feeling sadness and at the same time acceptance. So imagination could also be the fears, like the monsters under the sea that are reminding of the circumstances where the pain and the disappointment broke our expectations. So imagining the negative towards the future could be a form of protection. I am preparing myself for this possible suffering. However, with Saturn being in conjunction during the 2025 in Pisces and in Aries, there is an invitation to make contact with the dreams of the soul. But they are not a fantasy of salvation. These are dreams that we can actually build step by step with the inner labor, in the decisions, in the concretion on the matter, but also in the certainty, in the inner certainty that we are transiting the necessary experiences. No one on the outside can tell us which are our dreams of the soul. And many times people even, they didn't even discover them, or they weren't revealed, and there is a path to do that. But we can say that because of Neptune is a transpersonal planet, these dreams will also produce a contribution for the people that surround us. If someone has the dream of being a writer, it is that those words and the books that that person can offer to other people are something very important, a very important contribution. Those people need to read that. It is the desire of connection that many people possesses, of sharing with another person, perhaps in a romantic level, that in its purity is growing together, discovering new passages, new aspects of themselves, which is not retaining or control or renouncing to themselves. Creating connections of this kind requires much inner labor. Therefore, going through that path, it is not something that just is bringing a benefit for that person, also for the people that surrounds that person, and they could be even an example. They could inspire or showing others how to learn to love themselves and to love in general. So what occurs is that when there is much that wasn't managed, this desire of connection could turn into a fantasy of projection, where the person wants to believe that the other is going to be in the way that that person is expecting. So the person can rescue them from their inner sufferings, from the inner dialogues and the perceptions of lack of value that we could acquire on this earth, and the responsibility of beginning to feel better with oneself, that the time with oneself could be something that we can actually enjoy and not this torture from which other person has to save us. That is one's responsibility, because seeking for saviors, in the seeking of saviors, we could attract persons, people that masked by our fantasies are going to show us the pain that we didn't want to face. And they are going to show us that renouncing to ourselves to tolerate everything in the name of love, giving without limit, even if that is draining our energy and life, it is not love, it's fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being alone. And that's why, relationships and situations that are pushing us away from our inner peace can be sustained, because people are trying to avoid crossing the tunnel, the void that we have inside. But the people that have actually courage to cross it with the trust, with confidence, and in that there is a sense, even if at moments everything seems to be darkness, they are going to discover that there is light. So this awakening of Neptune could push us to face with self-deceit, with projections that people wanted to sustain, avoiding seeing reality with the paths or the experiences that represented escapisms of themselves, with understanding that empathy and compassion don't have anything to do with lack of healthy boundaries. On the contrary, those are also forms of fear. When we are relating that way with other people, distorted dynamics for obtaining external validation, or not feeling alone, but they are going to generate more loneliness because we are abandoning ourselves. So Saturn accompanying this also reminds us that there are a lot of changes and wonderful experiences that we dream that are possible, but it is a fantasy to leave everything to the universe, and we have to make we have to take coherent decisions, because life always reflects us what we are sustaining and challenges us so we can grow and we can create different experiences. The important thing is the path itself, and to encourage ourselves to be honest, even if we are detecting thousands of imbalances. I think it is important to be compassive, to soften ourselves when the voice that is speaking in our mind is very tough and very authoritarian, but also to put boundaries when we are not taking responsibility, when we are evading what we need to do, when we are not assuming consequences of our acts, or allow other people to act that way with us. Because everyone can make a mistake, but the people that are really willing to repair, they are going to assume a commitment with what they need to do or change. Other aspect of Neptune is confusion. Confusion as a mechanism of our mind in the face of what is unknown, because there are paths that respond to a calling of the soul that we cannot process rationally yet, and that could generate a lot of uncertainty. But that doesn't mean that we are lost. That simply means that we are assimilating a new phase of the experience, even if we don't recognize that, and that we need to dissolve a mental barrier to move forward. I mean, the mind is going to be useful in many things, but if we really want to develop intuition and inner connection, we have to open ourselves to feel and to listen beyond the information that we have stored, and allow life to reveal us new forms of wisdom of the soul. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.